Arcade games. We all know them. Arcade games come in all shapes and sizes. Some give you tickets, and some are just for the experience. One of those experience-type arcade games was the Metal Slug Series. In recent years, the series has been somewhat forgotten and abandoned by SNK. The most recent game was Metal Slug Tactics, which was a turn-based RPG, not a run-and-gun shooter like the original series. The series has over 20 games in its library, which somewhat explains how the series seems to have lost its identity over the years. This video will be about the original arcade games and the ports for the Nintendo DS and the Game Boy Advance. The first entry in this amazing series was released for 1996 for arcade by SNK. New arcade entries would continue to be released until 2008 with the release of Metal Slug 7. In this game, you choose a character and are immediately thrown into a batch of levels where you shoot your way through droves of enemy soldiers and tanks with a pistol and some grenades, while also making sure to help release POWs, with each level ending in a boss fight against all sorts of machines and monsters. Throughout the levels, you can collect all manner of power-ups including machine guns, rocket launchers, flamethrowers, laser guns, enemy chasers, iron lizards, drop shot, and a super grenade. These items are found around each level in crates that can also be dropped by the POWs that you save. The crates can also give you more bombs and ammo for the power-up that you're using. In some of the levels, you can hop into heavily armed tanks, airplanes, and submarines, each one having a limited health bar until it blows up. Hopping into these vehicles can feel like the biggest power trip in this game by far, allowing you to mow down droves of soldiers with complete ease. After you run out of lives, you are brought to a leaderboard screen where you can enter a 3-letter name to save your score to the leaderboard of other scores. But these games weren't only featured on arcade machines. There have been ports to other consoles. In the ports we will be covering are Metal Slug Advance for the Game Boy Advance and Metal Slug 7 port for the Nintendo DS. We'll start off with Metal Slug 7 for DS. This port features 7 main missions, with you being able to play each at 3 difficulties from beginner to normal to hard, each level giving you up to 9 credits in case you use up all 3 of your lives. After each level, you are brought to a leaderboard to input your name and score. From the main screen, you're able to look at the leaderboard, combat school, and the percent of POWs that you have saved in each level. This port has perfectly matched the energy and fun that is seen throughout the rest of the arcade games in this series. The only unique thing about this game is that it is the only original Metal Slug game to never release on arcade machines. This was strictly released on the DS. Let's move on to Metal Slug Advance for the Game Boy Advance. This is a game in the series that was supposed to be a new game only for GBA, being a way for people with the GBA to play Metal Slug anywhere that they pleased. This features 5 missions in total. This lack of levels is most likely due to the limited power of the GBA and the small amount of space on a GBA cartridge. But in these 5 levels, I faced the most annoying challenge I've ever faced in this series. In this game, you're limited to 1 life, making it so that if you run out of health, you immediately fail the mission and have to restart from the beginning. This is very easy to do due to the fact that a normal soldier takes about 1/8 of your health if they hit you, while the most powerful enemies take even more. The levels felt like a slog to get through because of this fact. Luckily for me, since I've been using emulation to play this game, I've been able to make quick save states that I can quickly load back into, helping me complete these levels without having to restart from the beginning. Another difficulty for this game was the final boss. The final boss has a shit ton of phases. Each one was a pain in the ass to get through. The amount of times I had to load save states drove me batshit insane. The boss feels like it was designed to never be beaten with an actual GBA. The boss is the spongiest enemy I have ever faced in a Metal Slug game so far. I was so relieved when I finally beat that godforsaken boss fight. I think that it took me genuinely like 15 minutes to beat the boss. But in conclusion, I personally think that Metal Slug needs a modern collection of these games for consoles. I'm sure that it could sell pretty well by feeding off a nostalgia factor for people that grew up with these games out in arcades. We need a return to the original run-and-gun arcade-style game that was the original Metal Slug. Not the tactical RPG that is Metal Slug Tactics, which I haven't played the game personally, but there's a reason I haven't played it, which is it's supposed to be a tactical RPG game, not a run-gun shooter like the regular Metal Slug games, which is something that I do not look for when I'm trying to play Metal Slug, the actual Metal Slug. A side note to all of this, I do want you all to know that yes, I do use emulation for when I play the games. I know that some of you out there don't believe that emulation is okay and shouldn't be used. I personally feel that the need to use emulation for the fact that some of these retro games are either expensive or impossible to find nowadays. So the only way I can get the games is to emulate them. I believe that nowadays, if buying games isn't owning them, then pirating games isn't stealing. If anyone ever wants me to talk more about emulation or to give a tutorial to get and use emulators, let me know in the comments below. Much love, play on, and I'll see you in the next one.